And welcome back to the DonBest.com studios. I'm Pat Williams, Brian Blessing, Kenny White. We're talking NFL football. We got 6 big games to cover with selections. Buffalo hosting the Tennessee Titans. Buffalo 3 with some juice, 46.5 is the total. Brian, what do you got?
You can't trust either one of these teams. That's what I got. But everybody I'm talking to, they love a high-scoring game here. They think this game's going over the total. Bills' defense showed some pride, woke up last week. Gailey's an idiot, Kenny. The day they realize they've got Spiller and Jackson and use these guys and stop thinking Ryan Fitzpatrick is Aaron Rodgers and having this guy throw 40 times a game, Buffalo can be really competitive and maybe a dangerous team down the road because they have a soft schedule. I'm going the other way. I like under the total. I think the Bills wake up finally and run the ball.
I think it's a cheap price at home. Last week, the Bills were my biggest bet. You'd be proud of me of the weekend, and they win easy as an underdog. Not easy, but overtime. I'll take the win.
Gave
easy.
it away, yeah.
Whoa. This week, I think they come home. I think their defense is playing so much better. Tennessee, Mike Munchak, you're not Jeff Fisher.
I'll lay 3. I'll go with you guys just because. Minnesota hosting Arizona. Minnesota 6. 40 is the total. Can Minnesota be laying 6 to anybody? John Skelton's going to come back, guys. He's not horrible.
Well, I'll just say this to you. I watched every play, every single solitary play of the Bills-Arizona game. That Arizona offensive line is an absolute disaster. Cobb ran for his life the entire game. They're down to Powell at the running back. I think the stars of this game are going to be Walsh and Feely, the field goal kickers. I'm going under the total in this game.
I agree with the under, and I'm glad that Skelton's not horrible because I'm as good as John Skelton, so that's not bad. I could probably play in the NFL then.
Prove it.
The line is terrible. They will have to run the ball under.
Guys, let's go to Indianapolis where the Colts are hosting the Browns right now on the DonBest screen. Indy minus 2.5, bouncing some 3s out there as well, guys. 45 is the total. Cleveland finally gets off the schneid. Indy, what an emotional roller coaster this team's had the last couple weeks.
For that reason alone, I think Indy had a letdown after beating the Packers when they played the Jets. Then Cleveland gets their win over Cincinnati. They have a letdown. I think it's a bounce-back spot for the Colts. Luck at home. I'll play the Colts here. 2
rookie quarterbacks, Whedon and Luck. But you know what? I like both of them. I think over is the situation here. Even though the Colts, I thought, were a dead over team to begin the year. They're just 2-2-1 over. Neither team runs the ball very well. Neither team stops the run. But I know one thing, both teams throw the ball really well.
I'm going to take Indy here because I think they can only win at home. They're just too young and inexperienced to go out on the road and beat anybody. The Giants hosting RG3. Say what you want about this kid. Exciting football. This year's Cam Newton. I guess he'd be this year's Cam Newton. The Giants laying 5.5. 50 is the total. In conference, you think in conference these games are lower scoring, and that's proved to be fairly true.
In division.
Yeah, inside the division. Yeah, you're right. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll go first real quick and get it to you. NFC East, we've done the previews. I'm riding this angle. It's worked all year long. The Giants are an over team when they're not playing division foes at home. Coughlin is an under coach when these games are played at home. And to add to that point, Kenny, I know you're going to go to Griffin and how you think things are starting to come down a little.
Young quarterback. We talked about Cam Newton last year, how he had such a phenomenal start to the season. Averaged over 300 passing yards in the first 4 games, but only 220 the last 8 games. And Griffin's going to be the same way because defenses know how to read him now. He threw for 182 yards against Minnesota's defense, stepping up in class, going to the Giants. Shanahan is 5-1 under in division games on the road since he started at Washington.
That's a good stat. Oakland and pick 6 hosting the Jacksonville Jaguars. The only quarterback I can think of that I would rather not have QB my team than Blaine Gabbert is pick 6. So I'll take the Jags here, guys. 43.5 is the total. Jacksonville +4 on the road in Oakland.
I won't make a pick. I have no fantasy football players involved. Tell me what happened on Monday.
In Jacksonville, the worst team in the NFL right now in the DonBest Linemakers Poll. They are at the bottom of the pack. Traveling to Oakland. You know what? They've got a shot. They're an underdog. I think they play hard every week, and Oakland being a favorite. Where's Oakland going? They're 1-4 straight up. They were everybody's darling to go over the win total and challenge for the division.
Hey, I was being a punk. Shock, huh? Liked Oakland off the bye last week at Atlanta, and they get the cover. You know what? Let's give the Jags the benefit of the doubt. off the bye here. I think the points maybe.
Let's give the folks a bonus game. Let's cover the Green Bay St. Louis game too.
Did we miss that game?
Let's do it anyway.
I think we should do it.
St. Louis hosting Green Bay. Green Bay 5-45 is the total. Guys, I'm not a line maker or a lines maker, Kenny.
But you
can
did
attest to that.
You
did.
slept at a Holiday Inn.
Yes, he did. That's where he
But I
stayed.
do play one on DonBest.com. I think this line's off. Green Bay is going to score 27-28 on their worst day. St. Louis is not going to be able to score that many points. I like Green Bay here, laying the points.
I know what Brian's going to say. I'll let him go, and I'll just confirm it.
I'll go with you. I think the number's light. St. Louis, the one thing for me, though, is Green Bay coming off the win over Houston. How fired up are they for this game? That maybe could produce a lot of points, and maybe St. Louis gets something. I mean, their star wide receiver now, they're down to a guy named Gibson. I mean, what weapons do St. Louis have?
No, they don't. But they do have a quarterback and a solid coach. But go ahead and say it. Up-tempo, Green Bay.
Yeah, I like the over.
Against Seattle, they were
the over.
slow, and
they woke up.
Got to start going faster, and they
worked.
28, 27, and 42 last week against Houston's defense. I think they continue to throw the football over the place.
Good
fast.
stuff, guys. Brian Blessing, Kenny White. We picked every single game. Good luck on your selections this weekend in the National Football League. We'll see you right back here next week at DonBest.com.
DonBest Sports, what you need to win.